Stop ghosting people and do this instead. Live in your truth. What do I mean by that? Communicate. Speak up about where you are and how you're feeling towards that person. Let them know and move on. And I'll tell you exactly what you can say in a moment. But I want to just address this because so many people start building the poor habit of just disappearing on people whenever you've decided that dating them doesn't make sense for you any longer or what have you, and you just, move on. Especially if you have had a few dates with this person and there's been some building happening and then you just kind of like just disappear on them. It's one of the most indirect forms of disrespect that you can do towards someone. Now, I get why people may do it sometimes. It's uncomfortable to let someone down, right? Easy or whatever, or to reject them. Doesn't feel good to do that. Understand, in addition to the lack of consideration and lack of courtesy you're offering them as a person that, deserves to at least understand what's happening in the equation and not have to put two and two together because you stop responding to them or whatever, right? In addition to that, you're building poor communication habits into your system. People often don't realize how harmless they think ghosting is, which, yes, on the surface level, it's not that deep. End of the day, someone doesn't get back to you, you're going to move on with your life, right? Especially if you've only been dating a few times or whatever. Now, if you've been dating for some months and so forth and someone just ghosts you, that's a whole different level. But even still, you can move on from that. If it never made it to a fully committed situation, you're not in a relationship and someone's ghosting you, you can keep on moving on. But it's all about how you're conditioning yourself towards when you actually do make it to a committed relationship where the stakes are higher and things matter more. How are you going to handle uncomfortable circumstances then? And so if you don't start building a muscle now in the lighter stages with someone that you don't have any obligation to at least do the decent adult worthy thing, showing the maturity to communicate effectively and just state to that person that you are not seeing it with them and you want to move on, then whenever it comes to really big issues and obstacles to get through with your partner in a relationship, yeah, your emotional connection to them may make you say a little bit more, but you're not going to lean in and speak your truth when it matters most and it needs to be said most. It's natural for us as humans to move away from things that aren't comfortable, right? Because in your brain and your body's primal wiring, something that's uncomfortable equates to potential pain, which can potentially be harmful to you, which is dangerous. And your mind and body's primal wiring is to keep you alive, right? So if it doesn't feel good, it wants you to stay away from it. So it makes sense. Only issue is our biggest growth, our best growth happens at the edge of our comfort zones, right? So when it comes to communication, you have to truly build the muscle to lean into conflict situations that are not comfortable and build the muscle to make it comfortable for yourself to stick in there and do the positive thing, the more constructive, build-worthy thing for yourself and not avoid situations. So what you say to someone you were considering ghosting instead of actually ghosting them is, hey, I enjoyed the time we've had so far. It was good getting to know you, but I just don't think you fit what I'm looking for to move towards where I'm looking to go future wise. It's nothing against you. I just think I'm looking for something that's a little different. Just like that. As uncomfortable as it may be to say that to that person, it's what they need to hear because it's your truth. And as long as you're delivering it with love, right? You're saying it from a positive space and you're saying it just honestly and more constructively and nothing that's like a negative tear down of them. You need to let them know that they, at least as a person that deserves respect as a human being, deserves to at least have some sort of an answer, some information, and not to be just left guessing in the dark and wondering what the hell's going on. And for those of you that feel like, well, what if I say that and they say something back or they keep trying to fight for it and won't just let it go? Because now that gets really uncomfortable, right? So all you do is you give a light redirect. Hey, I hear what you're saying. I understand, but I made my decision. I feel pretty confident in that. And I'm pretty sure of, what I need and that this is just not it for me. And then if they still try to give one more pushback, then at that point, that's when you say, hey, I've told you where I'm at because I wanted to be respectful of you and not just leave you hanging and not respond to you or just disappear on you. But now I'm going to move on and I'd appreciate it if you would, stop contacting me in this way, if it has to get there, right? But most of the time you won't even have to do that. But the point is, you're building a strong muscle for yourself to lean into things that don't feel comfortable and talk through it with someone instead of just avoiding the whole thing altogether, to where whenever it matters most down the road, you haven't been working in the gym, putting the reps in, and therefore you can't do the thing when you need to do it when it's in real time with someone that really matters to you, and things need to be really said that needs to be heard on both sides. Don't delude yourself thinking that if you don't build the habit of being able to speak your truth and be transparent and be considerate now in lighter stages, right, that you're going to go to the big stage and be able to perform at a professional level, right? It's like you trying to go to the NBA, the NFL, or whatever kind of profession, and you haven't been really putting any time into that gym, right? You've been skipping days or, just skirting around, making time for it. But whenever someone comes and says, hey, it's time to go throw out there on the court in the big leagues, you get there and you think you're going to show up and just perform and put up amazing numbers. It's not going to happen that way. You have to start now. And it's just better for your morality and your principle base, because I'm going to assume that most people watching this want to go to bed at night feeling like they're a good, solid, decent person that is considered respectful and courteous to other folks. I'm going to assume that. If not, then, hey, maybe nor here nor there for you. But if that is the kind of person that you feel you are, be that person in the small areas where it matters so it can matter more in the bigger ones. If you need help building the muscle to lean into uncomfortable conversations, to live in your truth, to not suppress your truth, and to honor the person you want to be, either email or DM me coaching, and we will get to work as long as you're truly ready to put the work in. Let's get it.